What's going on, everybody? BSG T2 Trek Fan 88 here, sitting in my Wrangler, and I've wanted to film this literally since I did this, I think, 2 months ago. I just haven't had time. So this is kind of a quick down and dirty video. Hope everybody's doing okay during this shutdown. Yeah, let's not even begin to talk about that. So this is my Sony CarPlay radio. It's my first CarPlay radio. I was thinking about getting a new radio for a long time because I really was starting to grow impatient with my Pioneer deck, and I like this radio with a couple of caveats, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that I'm holding my iPhone 7, my old phone, because my 11 Pro is in my other hand, but there's a little doohickey in there. So one of the things about CarPlay is that your phone, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, has to be connected to every CarPlay radio. I don't think there is one that exists that works with just Bluetooth. It'd be really nice if somebody made an adapter so devices think your phone is plugged in, but it's actually sending it wirelessly. That'd be really cool. So I am a big fan of convenience, and I was very, very worried about, okay, so every time I get in my car, I'm going to have to plug my phone in. That's frustrating. That's also wear and tear on your port. That's also wear and tear on the cabling. So what I have done is I have routed the thinnest USB lightning cable that I could find that also had the smallest, if I can get an angle here, USB plug. To put things in perspective, I really can't. Like, that's a thumb. It's small. I wish it was about half of this length. I said this was a down and dirty video, guys. I wish it was about half this because I do hate that it sticks up. Just enough so when I'm driving, and you'll get this if you know what I mean here, where you see how from this angle, it's not blocking the screen. From where I drive, it's literally just at the cusp. If I go any more to my left, it covers the screen. You know, I'm OCD like that, you know? But anyway, so this is routed. It's going behind all the gobbledygook here, and it's connected to another lightning cable that I will forget the name right now. I'll link it in the description below. It's so far holding up very well, but there's this guy down here. This is a magnet. And it's green because the car's on right now. But what I do when I get in the Jeep is, you know, I sit down. First thing I do, phone in my other hand. That's it. That's literally all you have to do. And when you want to get out, grab it, because it's just a magnetic cable. Now, I'm doing this with the intent to show you guys what I do. When I get in the car, when I get in the Jeep in the beginning of the day, first of all, that does happen every now and then. It doesn't recognize the device, but it magnets in. Let me do that again because I forgot that I'm not using my other iPhone and it's not a wide angle lens. So it doesn't work every time. It's about, I would say for every 10 times I do this, one time it brings up that message that you saw earlier where it says device not supported. I just think that's because the angle I'm putting the phone in the jack on, it's kind of like, it's not like a normal plug-in where you plug it in and all the leads are connected. I think it's because they're individually connecting for that millisecond when I plug it in. Know what I mean? I am wondering about the reliability of this because I'm doing this a lot more than people might, but at the same time, it's kind of what it was built for, so let's hope it works. Anyway, so I get in the car, it rests right there. If I put it in drive here, if I slam this back, like without a care in the world, this does bump the phone like once and then it stops. See? Because it goes that little extra bit. But yeah. So anyway, what this allows me to do is use CarPlay like it needs to be used. So obviously you have all your music, which, by the way, having a 512 gig iPhone, having my entire music collection back after not having the iPod Classic for a couple years, excellent. Even though I found out that Apple restricts on what you can listen to. For instance, Battlestar Galactica Blood and Chrome, it will continuously skip. You go to select it, won't let you play it. Digital rights. What the fuck? I bought it. It's my album now. No, you bought the rights to listen to it. Anyway, obviously you got Waze, you get GPS, you get all the stuff that CarPlay is good for. And I do like it, with the exception of the fact that if I'm using Apple Maps, it does my favorite display here. Check this out. So this is really hard to balance here. Hold on. It'll do the maps on the left, your directions or whatever you want to select it to. I think it just goes off like what the next step is. And then your music. I like being able to see the album art. I can pause, skip ahead, go back, and the maps at the same time, right? If I am using, let's say, Waze, there's absolutely no way to do that. You either have the music or you have the Waze. Like if it defaults back to it, it's using Apple Maps. So if I take my phone out, which I can do easily because it's a magnet, oops, I see my face, and I close out everything, right? Put the phone back in. Ooh, is there something on the cable? Nope. Plug-in response time's pretty average. That's not bad. I wish it was a little bit snappier. Anyway, if I'm using Waze, there is absolutely no way, no pun intended, to use Waze and get the notifications that it gives you, like police, something in the road, which, by the way, my rental car in Texas had CarPlay, which I figured out the day after I got it. I was using my phone specifically, and it had CarPlay. Dude, how many times Waze saved my ass when there was something in the road or there was a cop? It was mainly the shit in the road. I guess down there, and I guess it happens more frequently. I passed chairs, couches. I'm like, what the fuck is going on up here? Anyway, I wish that I could do what you just saw, this screen right here. Put Waze here, or at least give me the option. Apple Car, I don't know if it's an Apple thing. I don't know if it's a CarPlay thing. Let me choose this screen. Hell, I would rather have it be I don't know, music information, and then have the map stuff small. You know what I mean? Just customizability. And I'm nitpicking, and I'm being like, well, you know, Ryan, you have CarPlay. It's good. Yeah, but that's the one thing that I liked about my old school Pioneer. Not the last one I had. The one from my TJ, I should say, my second Jeep. No, not my TJ. Holy shit, Ryan. My Chevy Blazer. So I forget the car it was in. Anyway, it basically had a screen like this where you could do GPS, and in the bottom right-hand side, it was music, which I'm a big sucker for seeing album art. By the way, I don't know if it's common on every CarPlay or if it's just this Sony model, which the link will be in the description below. But I do love that the album art influences the background color. And obviously I should have done this the opposite way here because you get glare from my rear view, sorry, but there we go. It's kind of hard though because the camera doesn't pick it up as nicely, but can you see, I'll just do it this way. Can you see how, there we go, the Abyss, perfect example. It just turned the background to the same tone as the album art. I think that's kind of cool. I actually do wish though, my other complaint about this is that even with the lights on, and I do have it hardwired to dim, it's like just a pinch too bright, you know? Like, and I'm the kind of guy where, yes, I dim the console lighting all the way down, unless I need it on, like during a snowstorm or something. But yeah, this is a quick 7-8 minute video here, but this is what I have. So life is very convenient for this particular Wrangler. You know, I simply get in, my phone sits there, I'm not touching it. It's, you know, illegal now in this state. You have to do hands-free everything. But believe it or not, I actually had this idea back when I first got the Jeep. I was tired of having to plug my phone in when I wanted to use it if Bluetooth wasn't connecting. So this kind of saved the day. Thinking about it in hindsight, I probably should have put it in the back one, but I decided against it because of convenience. Because if I get in the car, I keep saying car, sorry other Wrangler owners, you know, this having the armrest in the way and the fact that it's smaller. So yes, I lose the big cup size. First of all, it's just me, so who cares? But I have a feeling this, to get in and out of, would have been a lot harder over time than just that. You know, and it just sits there. And if I need to use the phone, I can glance down with my eyes in my head, you know, and quickly see who's there or whatever. If it was here, I don't even know how I would do it. I wouldn't be able to do it backwards. I don't know. Oh, also, because this is the only USB port, the only one, there isn't one in the back. I know the higher end models have it in the back. It sticks out, like I said before, and it's always there, but I've kind of forgotten about it, and it is black, so it kind of does blend in. Pro tip, if you do this yourself, get a black one, or at least one that matches the color of your radio. But because this is the only USB, I don't know if it's by design or not, but you cannot use a hub. That was the first thing I thought of, because I have my dash cam, which was wired back there. What happened is you cannot use a hub with this, so I couldn't power my dash cam. The only other readily available power supply is the socket there, which I don't want to lose this, because if I charge my drone battery in the car or a friend wants to plug in his thing, that's fine. But then you have this, if I can see without like putting my head behind the phone here. This is an outlet. Yes, it's controlled by this, which I'm sure somebody out there will tell me, Ryan, you can get a replacement for this so it's always on. You know, but I actually like it not being on all the time. Anyway, so I figured, okay, what's the easiest way for me to power this dash cam that will turn on and off when I'm in the vehicle and is easily accessible? Boom, this. So what I had to do was find the smallest, thinnest plug to USB possible, and then I actually have an extra one because it went the wrong way. Where is it here? Then get a 90-degree USB to go right down there, right, which it is, and it's just tucked in. There's a lot of crap down there, as you other Wrangler owners know. Once shit goes down there, it's gone forever. You know how many times I've got anyway, so that gets run down and that also is going up behind all the way around, which that's coming out there a little bit up into the trim, and then boom, oh, I'm not pointing the right spot, boom to that. So this is how my Wrangler is jerry-rigged. Is there other stuff that you could have done or I could have done? Absolutely. Is there... started. I've been having dead batteries for the past few months. Partially my fault for leaving the ignition on, but I'm wondering if that's hurt the battery at all, because you heard how that started. Anyway, I'm rambling here. This is how my Wrangler is set up, and as much as I would love to be filming this on my 11 Pro, I have to use this 7, but take it for what it's worth. CarPlay radio, if you were thinking about getting them, I really like it. And obviously it'll work with Android Play too, and I don't have I do have my work phone. I wonder if I'm gonna mess around with that. Maybe I got nothing else to do. Convenience, like I said, I'll link the cable down below, but it's pretty cool just getting in and driving. You know, I don't have to futz around and hold the phone in one hand and hold the cable and plug it in. I can just get in the car, boom. Oh, the adapter piece, obviously it comes out. They actually gave you a little tool. I just take the case off and take it out with my fingernail, but it doesn't come out. I think once when I pulled really, really hard at an angle, I can get it to pop out of the phone. But like, if you don't try, it isn't going to go anywhere. And obviously, I'm doing this to show you guys. I can't stress enough how convenient and easy this is to get in. When I'm not filming with my other hand or focusing on trying to get the shot, it's just literally like, that's it. That's what I do, and it works 9 out of 10 times. That one time, it's usually just not seated properly, so you just have to pick it up and put it back in. Because as you can see, when you put it in, I tend to put it in at an angle, you know, so sometimes it just doesn't seat right. But I would definitely, wholeheartedly, I don't know what vehicles you have. Obviously, I didn't even talk about this, shit. I had to take this out. Oh, okay, I'm gonna, video's not over, folks. So I literally just cut a hole in the, cup holder here, and that's how I ran this down. Gave myself some extra slack, so when you put the phone in, you know, it isn't like super tight, and you can mess around with it a little bit and move the phone, and it's not going to do anything. Oh my god, guys, there is an LED light that lights up the cup holder, which I am a fan of. For the love of fuck, whoever designed this, listen, I don't know how to describe this unless you've seen it yourself. You're not going to get it. That LED, right? In order to take this cup holder assembly out, it disconnects the LED light from the wiring harness below the cup holder. Well, that's okay, Ryan. They usually have slack. You can stick your fingers in there and kind of pin. Nope. Nope. Literally, there is, I think, 1/4 of an inch slack. Go to the forums. I'm not the only one to point this out. I spent an hour literally sitting here using all my force possible to try and pinch that fucker in there. Guys, it's in there. It's not clicked, so I'm waiting for when this doesn't work, but let's just say, oh, my lights were on. There we go. It works, but oh my god. Guys, or guy or gal, whoever designed it or whoever said, nah, you only need 1/4 inch of extra space. What's that old saying? To hell with the engineers? Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as putting, like, having to remove your fucking front right passenger tire to get to the oil filter to do an oil change. But still, it was a pain in the ass. Rant over. Convenient. I think so. Stay safe out there, guys. Have a good one.